Hey everybody, this is Mrs. Clark, and today I'm going to show you how to make your own pixel art so that you have your custom questions, and as you answer them like this, pixels are going to pop up a little bit at a time, eventually creating a really cool design. So you can watch this video and code your own pixel art, but if you want this exact template, you can click on the link in the description below and you'll get this exact firecracker for New Year's or for 4th of July, and you can follow along with me. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing we're going to do is come up to the percentage box here, click on the arrow, change it to 75% so that you can see everything. And you can adjust that and play around with it as well. All right, so we're going to write our own questions here, and then we're going to answer them. And you want to pick questions that are pretty straightforward. They can be any topic, but you want to make sure that they are questions that only have one answer to them. So to do that, you're just going to click on the box and start typing. And yeah, go ahead and pause the video, and then you can write your own questions. All right, now that we have our questions written and the answers, we're going to start coding. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to code each of these answer boxes only. We're going to tell the computer 3 things each time we code. So let's say we wanted to do this box. We would first have to tell the computer what box we're talking about. And we do that by giving the computer the column and the row. So the column is B, and the row, come over here and look, it is 4. So this one is B4. So I'm going to tell the computer I want B4, and then you need to tell the computer what answer needs to be in the box. In this case, it's 9. So I'm telling the computer if B4 has a 9 in it, I want it to turn a certain color. Let's look at this one. This one would be B8. And I know that this is a big box, so it's really 8, 9, 10, 11, but when you're coding, you just use that first one. So this one's B8. This one is B12, this one is B16. So you're telling the computer column and row, and then what needs to be in it. Here's the official code right here. I recommend writing it down. It is equals $column, $row, equals answer. So in this case, like this one, it would be equals $B, $4 equals 9. And the equal sign and the dollar sign, you just have to type those in. So you just have to keep those. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. We're going to open up the formatting window. To do that, click on Format. If you don't have this window, click there. And click Conditional Formatting. It will pop up this window here. You can see that it turned the 9 blue. Don't worry about that. And we're going to pick a color, and we're going to code that 9 box. I'm going to do the lightest yellow because it's pretty small. It's pretty easy to see. Before I start coding, I'm actually going to click on the yellow just so I can come up to the paint bucket and see what yellow that is. So it's one of the custom ones. That's just so I can find it. Now I have to be careful and actually go back and click on the box I'm actually coding, which is this 9. So I've got the 9 clicked, and I'm going to come over here and I'm ready. The first thing we're going to do, we're going to go bottom up. First, you're going to click and find the color you want that box to turn. And I chose this yellow, so it's a good thing I was just looking at it because it'd be hard to know which one it is versus like the other ones. Okay, now I'm going to write the code. To do that, come here where it says Format Cells if ... Click on the box and come down. Click Custom Formula Is. Right there, that's where we're going to write our code. And you're going to write it just like it's written down below. So it's equals $column. This 9 box is in column B. So $B. $row. This one is in row 4. So then that's why we put the 4 there. Equals, and then put whatever your answer is. My answer is 9. If it's a number, just put the number. If it's a word, you have to put it in quotes, and I'll show you that in a couple. All right, the code technically works. I'll show you if I hit done. I have technically coded this box so that if there's a 9 in it, it turns yellow. And if there's nothing in it, or like a 5 or 6, it won't turn yellow. But if there's a 9, it will. So the code worked. Now what we're going to do is just add on some of the pixels from the firecracker so that it's part of the code. So we're not actually writing a code for these little pixels. We already wrote the code. We're just going to add those along for the ride. Let me open this code up again, and I'll show you how to do that. You're going to come up to Apply to Range. It already has the B4 through B7. That's this box here. 7. But we want to add to it. Click here. Slide this over. And then I'm going to start clicking on the other light yellows, but before I do that, I need to hold down Control or Command. If you don't hold down Control, you'll lose the stuff you've already selected. In this case, it's this box, and I don't want to lose that box. So hold down Control. If you have a Mac, hold down Command. And with your other finger, you're going to come through, and you're going to click on all of the other little yellows. There we go. And now I've added them to the code. Take your finger off of Control, and you're going to do 3 steps. Step 1 is to hit OK on the range. Step 2 is to say done for the code. And step 3 is super important. Come up to the paint bucket and hit reset. If you don't do that part, then they will stay yellow no matter what, and that's really frustrating. So make sure you do that reset. Okay, now I'm going to test it by hitting delete, and they disappear. Hit 9. Nothing happens until you click off of it. And there we go. So the code worked. But I want to take the 9 out there. Notice the code is still here. But delete the 9 so I know what I've done and what I haven't done. And then I'm going to keep going. I'm going to do 1 color per box because there are 9 colors and there are 9 boxes. So for this one, I'll do all of the light green, for example, and then I'll just keep going from there. Before I start, let me actually click on this light green and just take a look at it. So it's this one, okay? And I'll come back and actually click on that 50 box because that is the box I'm actually coding. I'm only coding the answer boxes. Now I'm going to come over here and click Add Another Rule. And if you lost this window, just open it up again the same way we did before. So 50 box is selected. Click Add Another Rule. And I'm going to start at the bottom. First, I'll tell it what color I want it to be. I want it to turn that bright green. Next, I'm going to write the code. I'll click here, come all the way down, and hit Custom Formula Is. And I'm going to write the code telling the computer the column and row of this box, telling the computer that someone needs to answer 50 in order for the code to activate. Equals $B, that's the column. $, let's see here, it is 8. Equals 50, that's my answer. You'll put in your answer. The code is technically successful. That box will now turn green if someone writes 50 in it. But obviously we want to bring along some of the fireworks as well. So click Apply to Range, slide this over. You don't want to lose this box. That needs to stay selected. So hold down Control or Command and click on all the light greens in your fireworks. If you accidentally click on something you don't mean to, it's not that big of a deal, but you can undo it just by, let me show you, just click on it again. It'll get rid of it. All right, take your finger off Control. Think about what those 3 steps are that you have to do. You have to hit OK on the range, and then done on the code. Do you remember the 3rd step? It's the paint bucket. Paint bucket, reset. Now click off of it because everything's still selected. Now come back and hit delete or backspace, and it disappears, and then we'll test both of them. There we go. We're going to keep going. Let's do the light purple. Clicking on it first so I can see where it is. The first one, great. Now I got to make sure to actually click on that box I'm actually coding. Click Add Another Rule. Start it and pick my color. Now I'll write the code. Custom formula is equals $B, $12 equals Broncos. Now, you might remember me saying that if it's a word, you have to put it in quotes. So this code is not complete. It's not. I have to put quotation marks around the word. And now it works. I have to, hold on. Here we go. I have to do that if it's a word. If it's a number, you do not have to do that. Code is written, we're good to go, but I need to add in the pixels from the actual artwork. So I'll click on Apply to Range, slide the window over, hold down Command or Control so you don't lose that box that says Broncos in it, because that needs to be part of it too. And we're going to click on all the light purples that are in the design. Lift up, and now I'm going to do my 3 steps. I'm going to hit OK on the range, then I will hit done on the code, and the last step, super important, come up to the paint bucket and hit reset. And now we can test them. Looking good. Deleting them so you don't get confused about what we have and haven't done. But you'll notice here on the right, the code is still there. The code has not been deleted. You can see them. All right, for Mercury, let's do our aqua color. It's this one here. Let me look at it. Okay, it's that second one. Coming back and clicking on the box I'm actually coding, which is the Mercury box, and click Add Another Rule. I'll start at the bottom, and I'm going to pick my color. Custom formula is, and I'll tell the computer, column and row of that Mercury box, and the fact that someone has to write the word Mercury in it for it to work. Putting quotation marks around the word Mercury. All right, code is done, but now I need to add the rest of this color. I'm going to do all of this color because there are 9 colors and 9 questions. If I don't do all of it, it'll be left out at the end. You can click and drag too to get more than one at once. So I'm holding down Control, clicking with my thumb and holding it down, and then dragging with my finger to select more than one. If that only works if they're next to each other, if they're in like a big group. I accidentally clicked on the wrong one there, so I'm just going to click it off. Click off of it. All right, now I'll do my 3 steps. Okay, done, reset, click off of it, delete, and test it. Great. I have 5 questions left, and I have 5 colors left, so I'll do 1 color per question. I'm going to go ahead and speed up the video now, and then we will check in at the end and see how it looks. All right, so we are all finished now. The pixels are all gone, and you can see as I cycle through these, over on the right, the codes are popping up, so it can show you each code that they're all still there. And now I'm going to close this window and we'll go ahead and test it out. If you need any help with this, you can come over here and there's a troubleshooting video. It's called Pixel Art Common Mistakes and How to Fix Them, and that should help you if you forgot anything or if you left any pixels behind. So thank you for watching. Remember, if you click on the link in the description, you can get this exact template and you can code it along with me.